In this presentation, I'll be talking about ARDS, its causes, pathophysiology and clinical features, and management. What is ARDS or acute respiratory distress syndrome? It's an acute lung condition where the organs have inadequate oxygen supply due to the fluid buildup in the lungs. Let's see what is happening in the systemic circulation. The deoxygenated phlegm, the deoxygenated blood from the body, which is carried by the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood which is collected in the right atrium, then from the right atrium it is going down to the right ventricles through tricuspid valve and it enters into the pulmonary artery, then it goes into the lungs for the purification, for the oxygenation. So you can see the pulmonary artery which is carrying the deoxygenated blood. So that is the only artery in the body which is carrying the deoxygenated blood, that is pulmonary artery. Then it enters into the lungs for the purification, for the oxygenation. So where the gaseous exchange takes place in the alveoli, this is the alveoli. Then the blood get oxygenated, then the oxygenated blood which goes to the left atrium through pulmonary vein. So that's the only vein which carries the pure blood. Then from the left atrium, the pure blood which goes down to the left ventricle through bicuspid valves. Then it enters into the aorta. Then from the aorta, it supplies all over the body through arteries. Aorta divides to form arteries, then arterioles, then to blood capillaries. Then this blood capillaries supplying blood to the tissues. From the tissues, another gaseous exchange will take place. Then this deoxygenated blood, again the deoxygenated blood from the tissues, it is carrying into by the venous system. Then again it's enter into the inferior and superior vena cava, reaches the right atrium, right ventricle, and the pulmonary artery goes to the lungs. Then again coming back to the left atrium, left ventricles going to the aorta. So this is happening. That is known as systemic circulation. I already told the gaseous exchange which is taking place in the alveoli. Okay, see this is alveoli. Okay, the functional unit of the lungs is known as alveolus. You can see the bunch in this one bunch, one unit is known as alveolus. And you can see so many blood capillaries are surrounded, articulates the alveoli. That is pulmonary capillaries. Okay, around 280 billion pulmonary capillaries which articulate the alveoli, and also around 400 million alveoli are present in the normal healthy lung. Okay, if we are calculating around 70 meter square surface area of gaseous exchange need to take place in a healthy human being, 70 meter square surface area. See, 70 meter square surface area, it is same as like a size of a tennis court. See, it's amazing, right? And we'll see how the gaseous exchange takes place. This is the alveolus, and it's the alveolar. This is the alveolar sac, and it's filled with the gases. How the gases will enter? This is from the normal inspiration from the nose to the. It will go down to the larynx, trachea, then to the bronchus, bronchioles, then to the alveolar space, the oxygen and carbon dioxide, the inspired oxygen. The concentration of the inspired oxygen inside the alveolar sac is 21%. Then I told there is around 280 billion capillaries which is surrounded with the alveoli. So this is the capillary. It contains deoxygenated blood. As already I mentioned in the systemic circulation, from the heart, the pulmonary arteries is carrying the blood to the lungs for the purification of the blood. This is that blood. Okay, that blood it's going, it's flowing. Okay, see there is a pressure difference in from the alveolar space and the capillaries. Okay. In the capillaries, the concentration of the oxygen is less and the concentration of the oxygen is carbon dioxide is high. But in the alveolar space, the concentration of the oxygen is high, the carbon dioxide is less. So, that is a natural process. There is a escape of fluid or gases from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. That is called diffusion. So, same process will take place here. See, here inside the alveolar space, the oxygen concentration is high. So, as oxygen is diffuse in the capillaries. Then the carbon dioxide is high in the capillaries. It will be diffuses in the alveolar space. Okay. So this one flows. So that's how it get oxygenated. So now it reaches, it get oxygenated. Then it's going through pulmonary vein and it reaches the left atrium. That's how the circulation takes place. See, this blood capillary membrane has only one cell thickness. So the gases can easily diffuse from this membrane to the alveolar space. So I think everybody got the normal physiology, how the circulation and how the gaseous exchange takes place in our body. So let's see. So everybody know the normal physiology. Then it is very easy to learn the pathophysiology. So we'll see the pathophysiology. Before goes into the pathophysiology, we'll see the causes. First one is direct cause and indirect cause. The direct cause, it will be an infection in the lungs, pneumonia. Then aspiration, if the lung get aspirated, the gastric contents and it will get infected. Then toxic lung inhalation through any inhalation of any carbon dioxide, that's carbon dioxide toxicity or any other gases. Then indirect causes, it will be coming shock, any type of shock, sepsis, especially gram-negative infection, which can cause damage to the capillary membrane. Then acute liver failure, burns, DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulopathy, then pancreatitis, brain injury. Okay. Then we will see how the direct and indirect causes is causing the ARDS. I'll explain the pathophysiology. Quickly, I will remind again the physiology. The capillaries which contain deoxygenated blood, it goes into the alveolar space. Then from the alveolar space, there is oxygen and it should come to the capillaries. That's how the normal gas exchange takes place. Okay. What happens if that doesn't happen? Due to because direct causes or indirect causes that I have already mentioned regarding the causes. Because of any causes, there will be a damage in the fluid lining of the alveolar membrane. Okay, alveoli. Because the alveoli has not only the gases, but also it has a fluid membrane. Okay, this fluid membrane get damaged because of the any of the causes. Then it starts to leak. What leak? Okay, this leaks the fluid in the interstitial space. Where is the interstitial space? The space in between the capillary and the alveolar membrane. So see the arrow, just see my pointer, you can see this is the interstitial space. Not this arrow, this arrow. So just see my pointer, this is the interstitial space. So what is here? Fluid, that is also protein molecules, large molecules. Okay. So what happened now is the carbon dioxide is here in the capillaries, deoxygenated blood. It gets to purify. But this carbon dioxide in the blood, this capillary, it will easily go inside. Why? Because this carbon dioxide is a highly soluble in water. Okay, it's highly soluble in water and it will go inside. You already explained in the ABG, this carbon dioxide and the water, it easily binds together and form carbonic acid. The same mechanism, it is bind with the fluid and it will go inside. Okay, then it will escape through the air exhalation. But inside there is oxygen. I told there is 21% of oxygen concentration is there. This oxygen, it will not come to the capillary. Why? Because this oxygen is highly insoluble in water. So this oxygen cannot bind with the water and it cannot come to the capillary. I told this oxygen is insoluble in water because this space full of water, the oxygen from the alveolar space, it will not mix up with the fluid, so it cannot come into the capillary. So what happen? Adequate gas exchange will not happen, and in the capillaries there will be PaCO2 will be low. Why PaCO2 will be low? Because this carbon dioxide is going inside. Then the PaO2 will be also low. Why? Because the oxygen is not coming from here to here. So in the type 1 respiratory failure, that is ARDS, PaCO2 and PaO2 will be low. That is the reason. This is the mechanism why PaO2 and the PaCO2 will be low in type 1 respiratory failure. So the clinical features include acute onset, means it starts very fast within 24 hours, then or within a week. Dyspnea, difficulty in breathing, tachypnea, tachycardia, hypotension, and fever may there or may not be according to the infection. If the infection is present, there will be a fever. So management, first of all, treat the basic cause. If any infection, you can treat with the antibiotic. PEEP. To avoid the collapse of the alveoli, we can give the positive pressure. PEEP means the positive end expiratory pressure. Most of the patient, the ARDS patient will be ventilated, so there will be PEEP can be adjusted. Okay, normal PEEP is 5, so we can increase the PEEP accordingly. Then increase FiO2 because PaO2 is low, so we need to increase the FiO2. Then prone position, okay, that is a big topic. Okay, should be a separate topic. I will be taking again this prone position. Then nutritional support, of course, this patient need nutritional support. So if the patient is on ventilator, put the NGT, start the feeding. Then steroids also playing major role. This the management actually I should take in a separate. So I'll be discussing later again with the ARDS management. Otherwise it will be a lengthy video. This is the end of the session. I'll be back with the ARDS management. Thank you for watching.